Welcome to today's presentation, which will be about the South African Library for the Blind. As indicated on this slide, we will be discussing several topics and opportunities for the digitalization of the South African Library for the Blind. Introducing the South African Library for the Blind. Firstly, I want you to close your eyes for a moment. What do you see? Imagine that you are now part of the 15.3% of the world who is either visually impaired or completely blind. So, knowing this, you will also be able to understand that educational resources for the blind is very limited and they have a disadvantage. They only have one main library, which is situated in Grahamstown. Education is of utmost importance for all people, disability or not. A life without education is difficult, and that is why 97% of all visually impaired people are jobless. So it is very important to align the South African Library for the Blind with new technology. Services provided by the South African Library for the Blind includes free audio, braille, newspaper, CD and magazine formats. They also have arrangements with the South African Post Office for the delivery of this material to their members. They also supply reading devices for the audio and CD formats, as well as a repair service when needed. They are governed by the South African Library for the Blind Act of 1998 and is a very unique library situated in the African continent. Why is the library so important to you?
The library is used to gain knowledge and to give us a view on the outside world.
What is the current process of requesting audiobooks?
You can request a book via email or by telephone.
How long does it take to receive the books and how long are you allowed to keep it?
It takes about a month to receive the books. Then you can keep it for 2 weeks, but if you need it longer, you can extend the book.
How are you informed of current books available or new releases?
You can log into the website for a catalog to see the overall books available.
What change would you like to see within the South African Library for the Blind platform?
I would like the web to be easier accessible so that we can download more books electronically.
The limitations of the SALB can be categorized into three sections: design, restriction, and accessible. The design of the platform refers to speech programs instead of giving direct access or links to them. Digitalization of the library only started in early 2021, but unfortunately is still not fully operational, nor is it blind-friendly or easy to navigate through. Restrictions where temporary downloads are limited to 2 books and only available for 2 weeks and need special software to work, compared to Tape Aid that you have unlimited access to free books for life. Accessible. The Braille books and CDs are distributed through the SAPO are very unreliable. Educational prescribed books are also limited and in some cases even non-existent for schools. The timeline of the technology evolution of the South African Library for the Blind. In the beginning, we can see in 1919 that Josie Wood established a small library in a little room in her house. And if we move to the far end in 2019, we can see that the South African Library for the Blind turned 100 years old. If we take one step back and look at 2004, the production of the digital audio books in the DAISY format began. Unfortunately, this is still the format being used where the blind will be able to play their CDs through the daisy. This is why it is so important that the website gets updated so that these audiobooks can be available through there.
We have identified some new technologies using FireR that can assist us with improving the website for the blind. We have identified that we can use a voice chat box, which is used by using voice to navigate the website. The website itself is not user-friendly for the blind, so we believe that it needs to change and actually move it to a cloud, because we believe some constraints are there because of audio files that are very big. We believe that machine learning can be used to change from text into voice, because maybe that's the constraint that some publishers are not keen to release books in voice or format because they don't want to invest in the technology. So doing this in-house, and then obviously with agreement with the actual publishers, can actually increase the content in the website. So basically, I'm going to speak about the voice chat box, which is used by a lot of companies to actually navigate their website and actually create a better user experience, including the text box, chat box for those who can actually see. How it works, it actually uses what we call natural language understanding, which is mostly speech, and then it uses a voice detection, activation detection, and a speech recognition software to actually take that speech and convert it into text so that it can retrieve the information from the website. Once it's done that, and then it communicates it back via voice to the person using the website. So the major benefits of this is actually that people don't have to master the keyboard and the mouse combination, because they can use voice to actually communicate to the website. We can add more languages so that it's going to be accessible to more people, especially those who don't have even the infrastructure like a mouse and a keyboard. So it's easy to integrate with other applications and other things that we can use on the website. And it's actually going to be helpful for the customer experience because it can easily assist with the FAQs or any information that is needed on the website.
I am going to take you through the web design. We propose for a perceivable website. We would like to redesign the user interface to add additional menu options and reorganize the navigation structure. The website needs to be accessible. From an ethical reason, it helps people with impairments participate actively in the society. The website needs to be operable. Categories need to be enhanced for the information to be presented in a way that is easy for users to access. The tools that need to be used need to be a keyboard, as a mouse or a touch screen is impractical for a person with an impaired vision. Cloud computing. From a service model perspective, we are going with software as a service cloud provider. The provider will host and manage the software application and its underlying infrastructure. The provider will handle any maintenance and software upgrade and security patching. The public cloud is the one that is recommended because it is an infrastructure that is located on the premises of a cloud computing company, and the users have access to the server. From a service provider perspective, we have chosen AWS. This is the world's most comprehensive and globally adopted cloud platform, offering over 200 fully featured services from data centers. Millions of customers and the government agencies are using AWS to become more agile and to innovate faster. In terms of storage, cloud computing at a hyperscale level will provide unlimited storage resources. They only need to requisition more from the provider if there is a need. Regarding security, preventative unauthorized access requires practicing proper security hygiene and implementing robust preventative and detective capabilities. Therefore, AWS is able to provide a full security tooling environment that will enable the customer to maintain encrypted communication and implement tampering protection to mitigate the risk of unauthorized access. Features within the site. A large selection of academic audiobooks needs to be available in order to cater for all education levels recognized in South Africa, that is, elementary, secondary, and tertiary levels. We'd like the site to have audiobooks that has to do with skills development. This will improve our economy and also reduce unemployment. We'd like the categories to be expanded, that they include sports publications, gaming, literature, and activities. Lastly, we'd like the various media publications to partner with the library that they may be able to feature their magazines and the blogs on the site.
It is highly possible to achieve this expansion as it can be done through collaboration or partnership. We can partner or collaborate with different stakeholders such as media houses, private companies, partner with telecommunication companies in order for South African Library to have access to download the material in order to assist the South African blind. This can be done through them either having computers or they can utilize their smartphone. There is a need to expand the South African Library catalogue. However, we need to consider the limitations of reproducing and digitizing the current content, taking into consideration copyrights. Digital books needs to be narrated in all South African official languages, especially the educational book, as education is highly important not only to the majority but to the minority as well.
Proposals to align SALB with the Fourth Industrial Revolution. The growing obligation and intent in libraries in Africa is evident in the adoption and employment of Fourth Industrial Revolution-related technology, namely robotics, user experience, Ask a Librarian, social media, reference management tools, e-resources, research commons, and Wi-Fi access of the LIS sector. To become progressively more advanced, the implementation of technology tries to address disruptive modification and the realization of SDGs. In an effort for a holistic and defensible manner, an effort to be aligned to the strategy, principles, and objectives of the 4IR, it is crucial for libraries to conceptualize, organize, and embrace the 4IR.
A person who is blind needs assistive technology to access books in digital form. Unfortunately, not all digital files are accessible or readable by a screen reader. Digital books should be in accessible formats such as EPUB 3, DAISY, BRF, just to name a few. Digital books can be converted into audiobooks that are narrated by humans or text-to-speech software or using text-to-speech software. Recently, the CSIR developed a software called Syndicate that promotes reading through listening. Syndicate converts ebooks into accessible file formats such as PDF and EPUB 3. It also follows the EPUB 3 publishing standard.
Skill sourcing. It has been agreed by consultative, bold policies that innovative practices in libraries need to be adopted to reach all people. ICTs and internet connectivity are regarded as essential for the efficient functioning of LIS. Despite this, a significant number lack these basic facilities, especially access for people with disabilities. Research estimates that between 5% and 12% of South Africans live with moderate to severe disabilities of various kinds. In South Africa, the South African Library for the Blind Act of 1998 is part of the major bodies of legislation that impact on the lives of people with disabilities, that emphasizes the right of access to information of people with disabilities. Opportunities. When it comes to sourcing skills to improving the efficiency as the SALB, some recommendations could be implemented, such as special librarians can influence the competencies of electronic communication channels, publishing processes that can be streamlined, a shorter and simpler supply chain resulting in lowering costs, better tractability and improved interactivity of content, and basic searching, bookmarkings, as well as simplified annotations for easy navigation. Barriers. Expensive conversions to digital publishing strategies and operational models, procurement of new resources. This would include staff training in digital processes, the challenging configuration of digital and outmoded intellectual property rights and the associated digital rights management (DRM) limitations and overheads, the excess of diverse e-book formats and reading devices, the misperception on which to choose, internet access rates amongst the majority of the population being low to non-existent.
The goal is to produce excellent digitized reading material based on international accessibility standards for the visually impaired. Purpose: digitized production is responsible for producing digital reading material in accessible formats, incorporating the use of specialized technology systems and the formats to enhance the reading experience of the blind, and print handicapped readers will be the instrumental responsibility. Other platforms for audiobooks: LibraryVox, which is a non-government organization with free books. The platform provides easy downloading and listening to material. No additional software is required. It is easier to navigate through the platform. Tape Aid for the blind is also a non-government organization with free books. However, membership here is required and no additional software is required. It's also easier to download and listen to materials online. South African Library of the Blind is subsidized by the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, and in the last financial year it received a 23,365,000 from the department. Pioneer Printers are a literature production unit that provides learning and reading material in braille, audio, and in large prints for the blind. Donors and fundraising activities. Donation by some of the companies are fully tax deducible of tax income, and up to 10% in tax deduction is provided by Blind SA. Other libraries in the province also provide fundraising activities in order to help raise funds for the South African Library of the Blind. South African universities can provide bursaries to students who will help develop and maintain the digital platform of the library. And also there are non-government organizations such as your LibraryVox and Tape Aids for the blind.
This concludes Syndicate Group 2's presentation. Thank you.